Good morning, and when I woke up this morning, it was pretty much just hop out of bed and see my husband off to work, make sure he has his lunch and wallet and keys, and he was off to work. Because we had closed the curtains the night before, I went and opened those up to let in all the beautiful daylight. Then it's time to head into the kitchen to hydrate myself. After I get a big drink of water, it's time to get ready for the day. I washed my face and everything, but I didn't show that. But I did have to show you this. Postpartum hair loss has been atrocious. I'm not the only one who struggles with this, so I'm glad to hear that. But, ugh. Then I put Asher in a swing, and it was time to get the bed made. For breakfast, I had a tortilla with burrito filling and some spinach, and it was so good. I want to eat that again right now. Then it's time to tackle that big basket of laundry. Having a little baby does add a lot of laundry, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I didn't really think about all the challenges that would come with having a baby, but keeping their clothes organized is quite the job. And then not only that, you have to switch it out so often because they grow so fast. It is quite the full-time job. I am so grateful that I have a husband who goes to work and makes a good enough living that I can be home with our little baby boy. Are you happy now? And I decided to make some homemade tortillas, and I don't have a press, so these are going to be all rolled out by hand. It's a little time consuming, but that's okay. And because we're making breakfast burritos, this is going to be my sauce for it, which is just mayo, dill weed, Italian seasoning, balsamic vinegar, and lots of fresh minced garlic. It is quite tasty with just vegetables and dips, but it's really good on these burritos. Then it's time to get this party started and sprinkle some flour on the counter and stretch out that tortilla and start rolling. This does take a little while, but let me tell you, these tortillas are pretty tasty and they're quite easy to make. It's just they're a little time consuming. Then I just toss it on a hot skillet and let it get all bubbly on one side. Then when it looks like this, it's time to flip. And I just do that with all these tortillas. And look at that. I want to eat one of those right now, not gonna lie. That gave 12 tortillas. They're really easy to make as far as mixing up the dough. Cups of flour, 1 cup of water, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, and I'm forgetting something. Oh yes, 1/3 cup of olive oil. Mix that together, knead it for a little bit, and then I divided it into the balls that I was gonna be making into the tortilla. And then you let that rest for maybe 5-10 minutes or more, it doesn't really matter. And then you just roll them out and then fry them on a hot pan, which is still kind of smoking back there. But so now what we're gonna do is spread these out and we're gonna make our breakfast burritos. And I think this is the first time I've been talking on here today. That's pretty bad. Good afternoon. It is now the noon, by the way. And I'm actually quite hungry. It's almost 2:30 and I haven't had lunch yet. I'm kind of hungry. So first it's the tortillas, and then you're going to want to take that sauce and spread that over that. And then I'm going to take a mixture of eggs, potatoes, hamburger. You can add onions and peppers, spinach. There really is no rule to it. You can add whatever you want or take out whatever you want. And then I like to cover that with cheese. And then I'll just fold these up and roll them and put them in a pan in the freezer. You can individually wrap them. You can put them in a pan like I do and cover them and then just bake them. They get a little crispy if you bake them in the oven without foil. And I love that. But yeah, these are so good. I actually had one for lunch and oh, it was amazing. And if you make these, you're going to thank me. Just saying, these are so good and they're so easy. Sometimes it can take a little bit to get down that folding technique, but once you get it, it's easy. And if it doesn't look pretty, that's okay. It still will taste really good, I promise. My husband doesn't usually eat breakfasts, so I don't have to have a breakfast for him. But if you do have a husband who likes his breakfasts, these are just so easy. Pop it in the oven, warm it up, not hard at all. And then I'm going to just go pop these in the freezer. I got 16, and these will be super handy in a day when I'm in a pinch or am too busy, or let's just face it, am too lazy to be bothered with making a meal. Asher. Asher.
King of the road, trailer for sailoring. Trailer for sailoring. Ain't got no cigarettes, but trailer for sailoring.
We are on our way to the Amish store. Finally, I was hoping to go way early this morning, but since it was raining, we didn't go. So we are on our way there. I need flour because I used up, I think, all but a few tablespoons of flour that I had in the house. But I am out now, and I need to make bread for Sabbath that is coming up. So yeah, I need to get that, and then we need to get steaks for dinner because that's what Eric wanted for dinner. We're trying to lose some weight, so you know we're gonna spend a little bit more for a steak since that is high protein. And I have mushrooms at home that need to be used up, so I'm gonna saute those and then make some green beans to go with it. I might throw some onions in with the mushrooms. I'm not sure yet. I'll think about it when I get home. That is if they have steaks. If they don't have steaks, I'm up a creek because I have not planned on anything else for dinner. I guess if worst comes to worst, I could do those burritos, but I already put those in the freezer. Almost 4 o'clock already. I feel like I haven't got that much done today. I will admit, I wasn't as productive as I could have been, just when it was so cloudy, and I spent a lot of time just cuddling Asher today. What do I need at the store? I need flour. We need steak. Oh, I need to get more coffee. We need to get every time I go over a bum slide, I slip it. Oh yeah, and if they have chicken, I'll get chicken because it's cheaper there. Might be a little older, but I don't care. Oh, I need eggs. I have some neighbors that I used to get the eggs from, but the coons all ate their chickens. So how frustrating is that for them? I feel so bad for them and bad for myself because now I don't have local eggs to get. I'm sure it's still fairly well raised at the Amish store since they're Amish. News, we do not have any steak. They were out I guess the supplier that he usually got his steaks from, their building burnt down. So, and that was 3 weeks ago, and they just got the building back up. So maybe in a few more weeks. But that doesn't help me tonight for dinner. So no steaks for dinner. They didn't have eggs either, sadly. And I felt like there's something else I wanted. They didn't have any. Oh no, I don't remember what it was. But they didn't have any eggs. They didn't have any steak. They didn't even have the chicken that they normally have. They were actually kind of picked over today. But I still ended up spending $40 bucks, $42 I think it was. But they did have the jerky, which we love that. And I got the flour, and they had mayo, which I always love that. Have that on hand at home in the jars because I can use it all up. When they're in the squirt containers, I can never get them clean, and I feel so wasteful using those. I got some stuff, but. And my husband's bringing home some groceries from town. Oh, he's bringing home chicken breasts, and they'll be thawed already. Well, unless he got the frozen ones. Oh well, they don't take long to thaw anyway if he did bring the frozen ones home. But yeah, so that kind of threw a wrench in my plans because they've always had steaks when I've gone. Of course, the one time where I'm actually planning on making steaks for dinner, they're gone. Oh well. Okay. So I still like to use the mushrooms up. I just don't know, chicken and mushrooms. That doesn't sound very good to me. Like, I mean, I'm sure it'd be tasty, but not as good as beef and mushrooms. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get home. Alright, and we got today 2 things of flour. I got 4 packs of jerky, 2 cans of corn, 1 creamy Caesar dressing, 2 mayos, 2 beef broth and 1 chicken broth, 1 thing of coffee grounds, thing of ketchup, minced onions, some tabs, and then these 4 sparkling water drinks. Not sweet. Pretty expensive, I think about it. After telling my husband that they don't have any steak at the Amish store, he said he'd pick some up in town since he hadn't gotten the groceries yet. So I started by taking the stems out of the mushrooms and cutting those all up, and then I put the green beans in a pan as well. I actually started everything a little too early, so by the time he got home, it was a little dried out, but it was still quite delicious. Then I decided that it was time for me to give my fridge a little bit of a clean out. It wasn't super bad, I just wanted to wipe some of the shelves out and get the food out that we haven't eaten, and it was just a real quick job. Then Daddy came home.
What? You make dinner?
I made the beans. And my husband enjoys grilling, and he did a great job on these steaks. They were so tender and delicious, and even if I did overdo the beans and mushrooms, it was still very delicious. Then it's time to clean the kitchen and put it all to bed by washing those dishes, scrub, and wiping the counters. Eric then told me that he was going to take the garbage down to the dumpster, so we emptied out the trash can and I put a new bag in. And then because I like to make my husband's day just a little bit easier in the mornings, especially since I don't always get out of bed, I know, shame on me, I like to make the coffee for him. So all he has to do in the morning is push the button if I don't get up and push the button myself.
by the commandment wrought in me all manner of consequence. For without the law, sin was dead.
Then my husband and I watched a movie, and we had some cookies and milk, and of course
What a
lots
big
and lots of
boy.
baby snuggles.
Asher, hello. You silly goober. You silly goober.
Mwah.
Then it's time to tuck little baby Asher in his cradle beside the bed, cover him up and make sure he's nice and warm, and give him a kiss and say goodnight. Then I head into the bathroom and wash my face with some Pond's cold cream to get my makeup off, brush my teeth and put some moisturizer on, brush my hair and put it back up, and then some lip balm to moisturize my lips. And then when I went back into the bedroom, I saw my husband saying goodnight to the baby, but probably winding him up.
Someone's not very tired. Yeah. Say good night.
Let's see it right over real quick.
Yeah.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the sweet little baby boy that we have and that we get to raise.
And then we head to bed, and Asher did finally settle down. And this is a day in my life, a very chill day in my life. Until next time, bye-bye.